Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Jay's Beer Review. And today is a very special beer review. And for the occasion, I have Chad joining me.
Chad Beer Reviews.
Chad. The reason why it's special is because we are reviewing none other than the Founders CBS Imperial Stout. Now, Founders is a brewery out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this beer here weighs in at 10.6% alcohol by volume. Now, the reason why this is such a special occasion is because this beer here was never available in a bottle till today.
Right,
Today,
literally.
Literally, today is the release date of that beer, and we were fortunate enough to score a bottle of it.
Yeah.
To add to the special occasion is it's brewed in very small batches on a very limited release.
Like 1,000 cases nationwide.
Yep, and like we said, prior to this batch here, it was only available like on draft. So good luck finding it, you know.
Yeah.
And one last part about it is known as like one of the top 10 beers in the world, depending where you look.
Yep.
So just with all that thought process and knowing that the Kentucky Breakfast Stout is still to this day the best beer I've ever had, bar none.
Me too.
It's really, we're both really excited to be able to try this. Now, the glass I'm going to use today for this special occasion is just my typical, everyday, oversized wine goblet. And Chad's going to be using the
Southern Tier balloon goblet.
The first thing I noticed was, as you were pouring it, especially in your glass, it had like a blood red color to it.
Yeah.
And even now, there's, I don't know if it's still a red, but definitely a purple or, you know, a darker tone to that.
But I don't see any, like, you hold up to the light, I don't see anything on the edge. I mean, it's straight up black to me.
Yeah, like there's definitely black in the actual body itself.
Yeah.
But when you were pouring it, I could see that different color. The head, you can see.
Yeah, very lovely.
Yeah, and it's different based on the two glasses, but I still got a little something here.
Yeah, it's like the same color as these tables. It's like a froth, almost like a cream.
Yeah. The aroma?
I just get all coffee.
Yeah, I get a lot of coffee. I don't get any maple syrup, which is maybe I was expecting to get that.
Yeah, I was too, or vanilla or something, but I get like the kind of bourbon quality.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
almost smoky.
I'm excited based on it because it smells real rich and sugary as well.
Yeah.
So.
It smells like a coffee with a ton of sugar in it.
Yeah. Well, let's see what this is all about and see if it
Cheers.
lives up to the hype. Cheers.
I get a lot of lingering of the bourbon on this one. More so than the KBS, which is weird. You think it'd be less. Just lots of vanilla and wood. The palate is more of like a homogenized general sweetness across the whole front. And finishing with that smoky vanilla type thing. Really, really, really tasty.
Coffee was definitely the most dominant flavor that I got out of this. But there's also definitely that flavors of like a sweet chocolate as well going on. And then it finishes with a nice lingering bitterness that's not overwhelming. Surprisingly to me, I did not get a whole ton of bourbon on this initial sip. And also, the other part about it being 10.6%. I remember when I had the KBS, I remember I had to sip it very slowly because of how boozy the presence was. Mm-hmm. This is a lot more toned down to me than what I can remember.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's like any alcohol presence. I mean, there's a little bit of warmth after it goes down. But I'm getting tons of just that bourbon, the wood quality, which I love. You know, even Brown's Whiskey Barrel Porter has that same flavor. I don't get any like maple syrup taste straight up.
That I was just about to say, the one thing that I don't get is the maple syrup. I don't get it at all, not even the slightest little bit, other than maybe the richness or the stickiness of the beer.
Yeah, if you lick your lips, you kind of get like a sugary kind of aftertaste, like if you were eating pancakes or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, I get a lot of coffee in this one. KBS has a lot of coffee in it too.
Yeah.
This isn't quite as like roasty and bitter as KBS. This is just like, this is KBS if like you took a if you chiseled all the harsh edges off of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's very similar, just not quite as big, but it's still very intense, very rich, and very flavorful.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and take a break and get back to you in a few moments. All right, well we're back, and as you can see, we have just a little bit of beer here left, and just a little bit is what I have,
Yeah.
because I really wanted to savor it because I really enjoyed it.
I know, I was drinking it so fast. I was like, oh my god, I'm almost done.
What did you think?
Really, really, really liked it. It is so much like KBS, but it's lighter. That's what you call it, KBS Light, which is ironic because like you think like the lighter one would be a little more popular, so it's a little more drinkable. It's KBS where actually we were just telling Jay this off camera it's KBS is very roasty, very overtly bitter with the coffee and the roasted malts. This is kind of like it trades that roasted malt for like a vanilla, way more vanilla type flavor. I don't really get maple syrup per se. I mean, like maybe kind of reminds me of Southern Tier creme brulee, like that kind of vanilla, like overt, almost like artificial kind of vanilla. But that's all from the bourbon barrel, and it's that like that smoke taste you get right on the finish. Really, really smooth. Like the mouth feels nice and comfortable. Goes down very smooth. Highly, highly drinkable considering it's 10.6. Fantastic dessert beer. I love it. I'm going to give this a full 10 out of 10. But I do like KBS better.
Yeah. Where am I? Just to start off the rip, I agree. I do still like the KBS better than this. But I also thought the KBS had a lot bigger bourbon quality to it and a lot more roastierness to it.
Yeah.
And I just tend to like that. But I still found this extremely enjoyable. The differences I found between this and the KBS is, while it does have a strong coffee presence like the KBS, I also found a lot more chocolate-like flavors in it compared to the KBS. That was almost like an underlining, where this is, after you get that coffee, I think you get a pronounced chocolate or vanilla flavors. The thing that I didn't notice was the maple syrup at all. I didn't get it. I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, I didn't really either.
And the bourbon barrel that it's aged in tends, when you have a beer that's bourbon aged or when it's
wood aged
in an oak or barrel or whatever, you either get like that really pronounced like wood flavor or that cherry or vanilla flavors. And I do get a lot of vanilla flavors out of this, and I do get a lot of wood flavors, but it's not super pronounced like some I had in the past. It's almost a perfect blend, to be honest, of everything. It's extremely drinkable, extremely rich, full-bodied, and I'm right with you. I mean, it's one of the best beers I've ever had, but I still like the KBS better.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm going to do a final chug. You going to do it with me?
Sure.
And then we'll give a final thoughts and grade. So,
well, I think we just did.
Cheers. As far as a final thought for me, it's a top-notch beer for sure.
Yeah.
Might possibly fit somewhere in my top 5 of all time. Not going to beat the KBS for the overall best one. But even that last sip, I hate it drinking because I knew it was the end.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, it'll be on my top 10 list of this year for sure. I think if I hadn't had KBS, then it'd be a little more memorable. It's just such an amazing beer. One of the best Imperial wood age things.
It lives up to the hype, would you say?
Yeah, for the most part, but because I've had KBS and because they're so similar, like it's not like I'm drinking this and it's not like it's like something I never had before. It's familiar.
For me, I thought it lived up to the hype, especially considering all the great beers I've had now. It's so hard for me to still consider a beer so great, and I was completely satisfied. And when that happens, then you know you got something special. So
thanks for watching this episode of Chad's Beer Reviews
and Jay's Beer Reviews,
and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.